Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Rachel Rogers TV. I'm Rachel Rogers, and I've been missing for a while, right? Like, I haven't done a video in quite a while because I spent the entire month of April traveling around the country. And I want to share some of the lessons that I've learned during my travels, particularly my travels to an amazing conference called Mastermind Talks. So Mastermind Talks is an incredible event put on by Jason Gaynard. It's an invite-only retreat for highly successful entrepreneurs. There are about 150 of us, and I really had no idea what to expect. This is not the typical kind of event that I've ever been to. So I have to admit, I was a little intimidated. But I have to say, one of the first things that I picked up is that highly successful entrepreneurs are very authentic. Authenticity abounded during this retreat. And it was really incredible to see people whose books I had read and been inspired by, people that I had idolized in different ways, just be really vulnerable and authentic in that setting. But it totally makes sense, right? That these highly successful entrepreneurs would be incredibly authentic, because honestly, that's how you become so successful, by being your true real self. Authenticity is actually incredibly attractive and really brings people to us. And there are a ton of benefits to being authentic, which I'll get to in a moment. But first, let me tell you about a conversation I had with Gary Vaynerchuk. So on the second or third night, we're out at like a barnyard dinner, right? And then suddenly we hear, "It's Bone and Biggie, Biggie. It's Bone and Biggie, Biggie." You guys know that song by Notorious B.I.G. and Bone Thugs and Harmony? Anyway, one of my favorites. So they start playing that song, and there's these huge barn doors opened, and who steps out but Gary Vaynerchuk? And he was there to do a Q&A with us, right? He has a very popular YouTube show called Ask Gary V. And so that's essentially what it was. It was our opportunity to kind of sit with him. He spent like 2 hours with us, and we were able to ask him whatever we wanted, and he authentically answered those questions. So I actually asked the very last question of the evening, and my question was, what is the ROI of not giving a fuck? Now, let me clarify. What I mean by not giving a fuck is really truly being yourself and not giving a fuck about what other people think or say. So I wanted to know, what is the return on investment in that? What does that look like? Because I'm kind of new to this, right? Not giving a fuck is something that is new in my life since 2015. And there were times when I probably put on a persona in different settings and really sort of squashed my personality in certain settings because I didn't feel it was safe to really be my big and, over the top self. And I really wanted to hear his thoughts on how has that really benefited you? What is the return on investment of not giving a fuck? And here was his brilliant answer: speed. Speed is the ROI of not giving a fuck. And when he elaborated, he said, when you aren't wasting time worrying about what other people think, you're executing. And that's one of the huge benefits of not giving a fuck, right? Being your authentic self allows you to just go for it, do it, and see what happens. Faster, execute faster. Just put it out there and make it happen. And that's not the only benefit. There are a lot more benefits to being authentic. And they include being surrounded by your right people, both in business and in your personal life, because you basically repel the wrong people, right? That way you're free to surround yourself with and to serve the types of people who are really attracted to what you do. And another thing that Gary Vee has said as well is that you win so much more, attention and people interested in what you're doing by being your authentic self than you lose in the people who may not be into you because some aspect of what you do is not their thing. Case in point, I curse a lot. That's just how I talk. This is how I talk in real life, okay? And I get emails almost every week from people saying, please stop cursing in your newsletter or in your videos. And my mother sometimes says, please stop cursing all the time on Twitter. But I'm not going to stop cursing because that's who I am and that's how I talk. This is me being my authentic self. And it's more important to me to deliver my authentic self to you than it is to attract every single person who, would be interested because I don't curse, or people who would be less offended and more interested in what I had to say if I didn't curse. And that's not the only other benefit, right? The last one that I'll talk about is being happier. You will be so much happier if you're just being your total and utter self. So now the question is, how do you actually do that? And I'll talk about 3 that I see very often. One is that you can stop running 2 separate social media accounts, right? This has come up twice this week with clients of mine who have 2 separate Facebook accounts, right? They have the Jane Doe, me being my corporate world person. Then I have this Facebook page over here, and that one is so that I can, twerk when I want to, curse when I want to, and really show my political interests, my feminism, my whatever else that, you show in real world Facebook page. And what I would recommend to you is to stop it. Stop it right now. What I would suggest is that you have one Facebook profile and that you let your freak flag fly completely on that profile. Stop hiding yourself or creating 2 different versions of yourself. Another way that you can start being more of your authentic self is by using your actual voice, right? So don't put on the proper tone or the proper grammar or get rid of your Southern accent or stop cursing because you think that that'll attract more people to you. What's actually going to attract more people to you is you being totally and completely you. We want your creative way of talking or speaking or writing. Just be totally yourself and you will attract more people and you will attract your right people. And lastly, bring yourself into your work. Bring your interests and your personality and all of that into the work that you're doing. I'll give you an example. I just created a new one-on-one retreat called Handled, right? And it's all about handling your business because that's what I'm here for. So it's a one-on-one retreat where we'll have dinner together one night. The next day we spend the day together planning and plotting the next phase of your business. And then we spend the last half day having breakfast together and then also executing on some of those plans we just created. And after our incredible time together, we won't leave you hanging. You'll get 30 days of support from me and my team. And don't think support is bullshit. Have you met my team? It's going to be on. So this is a new offer that I had put together, right? But how could I make it more awesome and more me? So what I did was I made it an event that happens here in New York City. You stay at my favorite hotel in Brooklyn, and we're going to go to some of my favorite places around the city and spend time together and have a lot of fun, right? And that's not all. I decided to take it one step further, and now I'm also offering Handled retreats in Paris because it's another favorite city of mine, right? And the City of Light is just such an inspiring place to be doing business planning and plotting. The whole sales page and everything about this offer is totally me. It's totally using my best skills and talents, what I do best to help people accomplish what they want to accomplish. This is not going to be budget at all. Instead, it's going to be a luxurious and amazing, incredible experience. I mean, it's going to be freaking bananas. And that is really, serving my clients in the way that I feel they need to be served, but also taking care of myself, right? Making it fun for me, bringing my personality into it, and creating a situation and sort of the environment for me to do my best work, right? Which serves my clients best as well. So I highly recommend that you think about bringing your interest into your work. So that is my message today for you folks, that if you want to be super successful, if you want to be happier, if you want to be surrounded by the kinds of people who would love you and who you will love, then I highly recommend that you do more to be your authentic self. Stop hiding. Don't hide any aspect of your personality. Bring it all out to the forefront and watch the magic unfold. That's all I have for you today, folks. Thank you so much for watching Rachel Rogers TV. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend. And if you never want to miss an episode of Rachel Rogers TV, please subscribe using the subscriber boxes below. It's just like DVR. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.